You found the Hemlock State Explorer, and we are at World's End State Park at the top of the gorge near the Canyon Vista, and today we're going to explore the Cold Run Trail. There's a stream that runs down the mountain, or down the gorge rather, and we expect to see some trickles, maybe some cascades, and I believe there are some fascinating rock formations. So I'm glad you're with us today. After a short walk from the trailhead on an unmarked but clear trail, we intersected with a yellow blazed trail, and this is where the rock formations begin. Looks like someone had a fire underneath here. Now the trail goes right underneath this arch. Here's a shot of the arch from the other side. Let's go up through this passageway. This would be a fun place to take kids on account of it being so close to the trailhead. Or if you just want to experience some cool rock formations without a huge hike. We'll pan across so you can see the rock formation. Just coming at the arch from the other side so you can see these interesting rock passageways. Reminds me a little bit of Bilger's Rocks near Grampian, Pennsylvania, except these are on a much smaller scale. After coming down from the rocks, we followed a flat grade that was a gentle slope up the hill and then went into the woods. Crossed an ephemeral stream, and now here's another. This actually looks like it would be a decent sized waterfall if it got water, but as of right now there's only puddles on it. We actually got a significant amount of rain last night, so unless there's snow melt, this might be as wet as this stream gets. Actually, I thought we were going to cross the stream, but the trail continues up along it for a little ways. Beautiful dappled sunlight. Hemlock stand to the left. We have some hardwoods to the right. Something just jumped in that puddle. Moss-covered rocks and ferns. It's actually a very humid day, so it's nice. I'm thankful for this little bit of shade. Actually, most of the trail has been under a canopy, but it's especially thick here. blazes indicate the trail turns, and I see it crossing the stream here. Looks like people have set up big slabs of rock, and actually if you look, this ephemeral stream is just one big rock slab at this point. All right, we'll continue up this side of the trail. We're nearing the low point of the trail elevation-wise, and although we've seen many ephemeral streams and rock faces, this comes the closest to being an actual waterfall, but it's just a trickle. We'll cross this and continue on our journey. We're following the stream now. It's a peaceful trickle. And we'll follow this to the low point of the trail and then head back up. As you can see, we must be near the bottom because the trail is flattened out some. Just be aware that there are stinging nettles along the sides of the trail here. They're not too big yet, but later in the summer, this could become overgrown. That's a very nice view down there. In fact, it looks like there's a trail that crosses right there. If you see that big flat rock, actually, we're going to see the trail right here. Okay, so a trail continues across the stream over that flat rock and then up the other side. That's a good trail for future exploration. It's a big rectangular rock to our left, just out by itself on the hillside. Interesting. Oh, trail to falls. Well, there wasn't much of a fall. Okay, I'm looking back at that fall, and it looks like that does form a waterfall back there. There's not much flow, but might be worth checking out. We're going to backtrack just to take that side trail to the waterfall. We don't intend following it up the other side because I'm not sure where it goes. We already have plans to do this loop. But it is a big flat sheet of rock here. And I hear water falling, just not a large volume of it. Navigating down some rock steps and avoiding the stinging nettles where possible. That's a nice view. Moss-covered rocks. Calling it a waterfall would be overly generous in my opinion, but it's nice nonetheless, a nice find. I think the most interesting thing about it is the shape. It looks square on the ends and then like a bite taken out of the rock in the middle. This is wet and mossy. Let's see if I can get down here. Okay, so here is what is called the waterfall. I wouldn't call it a waterfall, but it's actually for a trickle. It's very nice. And I like the multiple tiers of stone steps and the shape of them, where it looks like there's a big chunk that cleaved in the middle. This is mossy and wet, so we're being very careful to not slip. And here it is, Cold Run quote falls unquote. Heading back up from what is called the falls, that was worth the side trip. I'm glad we saw the sign because I thought it was just another ephemeral stream that didn't really do much, but just the shape of the rocks was worth it. All right, so we are at the low point of the trail, elevation wise. We're going to turn this curve, it looks like, and then from the topo map it looks like head uphill, and there's a vista yet to see. After a brief but brisk hike up the side of the gorge via a switchback, we've arrived at the cold Run Vista. It's a nice window where you can see the side of the gorge and then another side after that and a mountain behind it. That's why they call this the Endless Mountains region. As you might be able to hear, it just started raining. It's a light drizzle. It's actually welcomed, in my opinion, because we've had a hot, sweaty, humid hike. If you heard that, there was just some thunder in the background. We'll take a rest here for a moment. There's actually a bench at this vista, so come and enjoy it. And we're pretty close to the parking lot now, just a walk up the hill and perhaps some more rock formations, and then we'll complete this short, brisk but pleasant hike. After the Cold Run Vista, we've ascended the side of the gorge via a series of switchbacks, and we'll close out this adventure, as you can see, with some very interesting rock formations. As you can see, overall the trail was approximately 1.5 miles. Very little of it was flat, except at the very top. These rock formations are so cool. Let's just play around in here a bit. A narrow passageway. Little cave. Looks like that goes all the way through. More over this way. I love these rock formations, and there are many of these throughout Pennsylvania. Hoping to do more adventures highlighting the rock cities like this. Big one to our left, ferns growing out the side, moss covered. Might be able to climb to the top through there. Turn the corner through here. This just keeps going. Look at that overhang. Let's turn aside from the trail here and go up between these two. Okay, that's where we came up through. And we looked into here. We'll hop down. So we're actually at the top of the plateau. And if you want to experience this, take the family here. You don't even need to hike down into the gorge. Looks like the rocks are thinning out up here. Let's just see what's around this bend. You could spend all day hiking saying that sort of thing. It looks like it might pick up again. Check that out. Wow, that was fun. The trail was worth it just for that. But thankfully, there's so much more. We're back on the Yellow Blaze Trail at the plateau, the top of the gorge. This was a short trail, 1.5 miles approximately. But man, was it packed with adventure. We went down into the gorge a little bit, along some ravines, and saw some ephemeral streams with, I wouldn't quite call them waterfalls, but interesting rock formation trickles. We saw a scenic vista of the gorge, but without a doubt, the king of this trail would be the arch rock and the boulder formations. I want to thank you for joining us today on the Cold Run Trail near World's End State Park. You can find all the goodies on our website, hemlockstateexplorer.com. There you can find maps of our adventures marked with waypoints and points of interest. You can also find all of our other adventures. So please join us at hemlockstateexplorer.com. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Until next time.